Once upon a time, a woman was fixing a broken window during a snowstorm when she got cut by broken glass, causing 3 drops of blood to drip onto the snow on the black windowsill. Admiring the beauty of the colors, she said to herself, "How I wish I had a daughter with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony." Soon after, she gave birth to a baby girl with whitest skin and blackest hair and normal lips. The people of the town called the child Snow White, and she grew up much beloved. But then one wintry night, an avalanche of snow struck the town. It upended a tree, and one of the roots caught Snow White's clothing, tossing her onto a torn-off roof held aloft by the rushing maelstrom. When the roof finally came to rest, she rushed back to her village. She searched and searched, but found no one. As a gentle snowfall covered her lost world, her own snowy name became hateful to her. Just then a hermit appeared from high up on the mountain. His wild eyes burned into her, and he exclaimed, "The 7 sins shall save you!" He ran off into the moonlit night. She wandered for days until a caravan of Romanis took her in. Unable to reach past her sadness, they named her Cloud Gray. Eventually, she learned to laugh and love again, but never told anyone what had happened to her. In time, her understanding and empathy made her the first person people went to when they were burdened with grief. At the end of her long life, she called her favorite granddaughter to her. Perhaps it was the memory of a young poet she had once loved, and the realization that her granddaughter was falling in love with a poet. But suddenly she found the whole story of her youth spilling out. Her granddaughter was enchanted and horrified. Hearing about the wild-eyed hermit, her granddaughter asked, "Why would he say that?" "Well, I've always been sure that it was just insanity, but perhaps—" "Yes?" "Oh, in my early years, it was my envy of children that kept me alive. I envied their laughter. I wanted to feel such joy once again. And eventually I did." "Okay, and pride?" "Well, perhaps the pride I had for all those I had loved kept me alive, too, knowing that if I died, they would die all over again." "What about gluttony?" "Well, that one's easy. The happiness that food brings gave me happiness in so many moments when I had nothing. Oh, I grew fat in those years and eventually found joy in other ways, but on many lonely nights, sweets were my only salvation." "Well, I won't ask about lust, grandmother, knowing how my Percy makes me feel, thinking only of the next time we'll be together and our hands touch. Only wanting to have that joy again and again." "Well, yes. It was one of your grandfathers and an annoying dose of lust that reawoke me to joys beyond the stomach." "Well, don't stop now. You're rolling. Sloth?" Cloud Gray laughed in her eyes. "Some of the most beautiful days I've had have been days when I had done nothing other than watch a burbling stream, or play with children, or lose the hours in someone's arms. Come to think of it, most of the most beautiful days of my life have been pure sloth. I think whoever named sloth a sin didn't like people very much." "Wrath." That's harder. But it's easy to think about the anger I feel whenever someone tells me what to think. I haven't felt that in a while, but I still do when someone I love is pushed around. I don't like myself when I get angry, but it gets results." "Okay, and the biggie? How has greed saved you?" Oh, please, that's just stupid, and I don't care to mangle the definition as much as I'd have to even try. But he was only a crazy hermit. Don't be literal. No? No. And maybe that's the message after all. Forget the perfect ending, just live. Life isn't black and white or wrong and right. The noxious, nasty notion of sin itself is a perfect example. You're a philosopher, grandmother. You're right. And enough of it. Let's go make a love feast for you and Percy. Maybe tonight I'll dance till I die. The end.